Brisbane's leaky back line. We've got to penetrate that back line. Grow up, Nate. Just seriously, grow up. Got to own that one. Own up, man up, step up for that comment. Should have cut it out of the preview. But anyway, this is the round 24 team selections final word video. Collingwood's clash against Brisbane Friday night, MCG tomorrow night. 2 changes. Are you shocked? All this kerfuffle about, all this talk, pretty much, internal talk. Do we manage players? Do we not manage players? Call up debutants for this one, just as a one-off. Be cherry ripe for finals, but 2 changes. Jeremy Howe returning from his fractured arm. Thankfully, that's the case. Still side bottom, returning from illness. So Isaac Quaynor out and Noah Howe's dropped. And I'm not surprised Noah Howe's being dropped for Jeremy Howe. I did think they'd move the magnets around and have maybe an Angus Anderson being managed or dropped for this one for side bottom, and then a third change just to assist with our back line. But a few moving of the magnets. We've got Jack Crisp in the half back line, but the lineups on screen. I'll put myself in the bottom corner now for the first time in 2 weeks. Billy Frampton, Jeremy Howe, Liam Puncher, our key defenders. Dan Houston, you skirmy fucker. Are you going to St Kilda? Are you not settled at Collingwood? You've had 2 years to be settled at Collingwood. If you're not happy here, that's perfectly fine. But you've got a role, you've got a job to play out in 2026. Don't get yourself suspended. But Dan Houston, Josh Dacos, and Jack Crisp in the half-back line. Not too small, not too tall. It's perfect balance. Noah Howe's dropped, holding his own in the last 2 games, but with Jeremy Howe coming back in, was going to be a surprise to keep Noah Howe's in, unless we drop Liam Puncher, and Liam Puncher has emerged on the scene this year. So, yeah, not surprised with that back line. Jack Crisp across half back, though. On the wings, Steele and Steele. Roan Steele and Steele's side bottom. Jordan DeGoey, smack bang in the centre. Need a big game from Jordan DeGoey. Big game from our senior players, the ones with 150 plus games. Guys like Dan Houston, Jack Crisp, Jordan DeGoey. Hopefully, side bottom comes back in from his illness and is able to perform. Tim Membry, hopefully, he responds from last week. Dan McStay, 2 goals last week, final quarter. Hopefully, he's able to respond, or not respond, but basically kick a few goals against his old side as well. Darcy Cameron, solid in the ruck, but hopefully, he's able to perform in the ruck against Sam Draper. Pendlebury as well, all these experienced players to step up. Angus Anderson, Harvey Harrison, Bo McCreary across half forward. Angus Anderson not dropped, gets another chance. Harvey Harrison stays in the side. Thankfully, that's the case. And Bo McCreary, one of his best games, if not the best game he played last week. I'm not expecting the youngsters and someone like Bo McCreary or a Roan Steele or an Ed Allen to back up their performances last week. Just want to clarify that. I don't think I said that perfectly in the preview. So the youngsters who performed well, getting on Nick Dacos's back in that second half and final quarter to mount that comeback. Yeah, I don't expect the youngsters to back it up or have a better game here compared to last week. I'm happy to be shocked. I'll keep an open mind and hopefully they prove me wrong. Dan McStay, Charlie West, and Tim Bembry as the key forwards. Again, Charlie West, 2 goals. He looks solid. Good response from his poor game against West Coast. I don't expect him to back it up, but you never know. Dan McStay, 43 goals, I believe it is. Hopefully 2 more goals. Get the 45 goals, 2 goals a game on average. And Tim Membry, solid year. Didn't fire a shot against Hawthorn. Missed a few shots in the first quarter. Hopefully he's able to get back on the goal kicking sheet, whatever you want to call it. Darcy Cameron in the ruck. Going to have to most likely do it solo. Dan McStay pinch hitting in the ruck. Ed Allen and Nick Dacos in the midfield. Pick your poison. Who is Ed Allen going to play on? And I expect Brisbane to nullify Nick Dacos. Nick Dacos, by the way, needs 29 disposals to end the home and away season with 35 plus disposals on average per game. Already got his goals, so hopefully he ends the season with 35 disposals and a goal a game, not just for home and away, but also for finals. On the bench, Lockie Schultz. Lockie Schultz, by the way, just bringing him up as an example from the preview about I didn't want to manage certain players and I got my wish, but guys like Lockie Schultz, the guys who go 110% each time for their pressure acts and their efforts around the ground, Lockie Schultz, I'd tell him to just pump the brakes a bit, be cherry ripe for September and finals. So if it gets to a point where, it's a dead rubber, the result's not going to matter, yeah, I'd back these players off. Pendlebury, SP442, Sam Swaddling on the bench. So we've got a Goats and Scott Pendlebury on the bench so far. Purple Hayes, Will Hayes, that is, and Ned Schlong round out the bench. The emergencies, Lockie Sullivan, that experienced depth right there. Noah Howe's being dropped, and Harrison Coe called up, had the captain's run, and we thought maybe there's a debutant coming up, and I wouldn't have been surprised with Harrison Coe. I've said it in a few sort of previews and selection speculations that Harrison Coe could be called up to play that backup ruck role with Darcy Cameron. pretty much a mini Darcy Cameron. Doesn't have that leap like Oscar Steen, but he's playing well in the VFL. No VFL for Collingwood this week, so players who are looking to get called up, they're going to need some injuries and some form slumps somewhat go their way, and we're not wishing any form slumps or any injuries on our end. Whatever the best 23 is, play your role, back them in, and hopefully we get the upset win over Brisbane. Brisbane with the one change, Ty Gallop, the naughty boy, coming back in for Dan Annable. So Brisbane, just two players, or technically one, with 50 games or less of experience. That's Ty Gallop. Levi Ashcroft, 50 games. McCluggage, still a week away from his calf injury. Mostly cherry ripe, Brisbane. They've responded from their 76-point loss to Carlton a couple of weeks ago. Back-to-back wins. They win this game by a decent margin. They're in third spot against Sydney for the qualifying final. But if they win a close one here, they're going to have to wait on Hawthorn v West Coast because Hawthorn could jump them on percentage. But you never know. That's for Brisbane to sort out. For us, it's a good test, like we did against Hawthorn last week. And I said it on the fan cams. It was just a test for us, and we passed that test. This test here against Brisbane, a tougher test. I keep saying test, a challenge, pretty much. I'd like to win this game. I really do. And if we can cause an upset and throw a spanner in the works, a fart bomb from third to seventh, and just laugh in the MCG toilets after the game, I'll be doing that if we win. If we lose, so be it, but I don't want to lose by 10 plus goals. The history on teams losing by 10 plus goals in the month of August heading into September or finals, they failed to win the grand final. The last team to do so was West Coast in 1994. We did it 1990, losing by, I think it was 83 points to Hawthorn, 1990, and then we're able to win the premiership 6, 7, 8 weeks later. Brisbane's in that sort of territory. Hawthorn's in that territory right now. And maybe there's a few other shocks for this week. Again, off-field discretions, i.e. Sydney. That's a massive shock. So there's an opportunity there for us to do some damage. We've almost sabotaged Adelaide's season, the win over there. Adelaide's in seventh spot, but I like to cause an upset win here and beat Brisbane and knock Brisbane from third to seventh. Snakes and ladders and bring Brisbane down to the wildcard round. There's an opportunity there for Brisbane to host Carlton for the wildcard round, and it's a full circle sort of game. And for us, if we take on Bulldogs in the wildcard round, I think it's a mini full circle moment for us because the way we lost to the Bulldogs, 4 points, and the way we played 3 quarters, we have turned our game plan around. We're a lot more attacking. It wasn't perfect or efficient against Melbourne, but we had the bye, had a chance to tinker around with that game plan and our structure, and it's worked. 7 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. We've been proficient. We've been proactive after the bye, not reactive. A lot more attacking, a lot more daring. It's what we need, calling up youngsters, and this is what we get. We actually get what we deserve, and hopefully it all comes to fruition for this game against Brisbane, and then we can move towards September and the wildcard round. I keep saying that. It's a caveat, this sort of shit. Yes, it's not ideal to finish 8th or be in this position to be battling for 8th or ninth spot, but it's 1 week at a time, and it starts here against Brisbane. No real other talking points for this sort of game. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wrap up this video here. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. Please be well, please be safe, and I'll see you guys Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon for the round 24 review. Out of it straight away. Up the pies.